year as perhaps he achieved in 2017, but nevertheless, Krzysztof Ratajski, a very dangerous opponent, the winner of 3 ranking titles alone in 2018. And I have to say, I am really looking forward to this one. The crowd, I'm sure, will play their part. Paul Nicholson.
Absolutely right.
Ladies and gentlemen, first leg is Martin to throw first. Game on.
I'm digging the new Hemd. And if you're not up on your German, Hemd means shirt. Looks like a game of Tetris on his shirt. I'm digging it. Well, he's going to have to dig deep today. He's not only got a very, very tough opponent, but Martin Schindler has almost been put in a hole in the last couple of months because this is the only European tour he's going to be involved in the first 6. He's not used to that in the last couple of years. The rule changes have really bitten him, and he's got to start digging deep.
Yeah, and that will apply its very own unique pressure, I suppose. These two players, in many respects, impacted by that. Ratajski also, but they both came through the European Tour Card Holders Qualifier, which took place in the middle of March in Wigan prior to the Pro Tour weekend just a few weeks ago. 6 of them in total: Schindler, Ratajski, Reyes, Noppert, Kim Huybrechts and Gabriel Clements. And plenty at stake for both of these two. That's a really difficult one to call as well. I mean, if you're looking for a winner,
58.
I think the pressure might get to Schindler a bit more than Ratajski. He's playing in front of, well, not a home crowd. He's from Berlin. It's a very different place for him, but playing in front of a German crowd.
84.
I think Ratajski's a bit more battle-hardened at the minute on stage. I think he's been shown some decent form. He's had a steady start to this season, and he had that incredible game with Michael Smith in the last Euro Tour. It was one of the best games I've seen on the Euro Tour by a mile. And
well, I was just going to come to that. I was just talking about the pressure, and I think Ratajski, you know, was really under the cosh in the closing stages of that one. And up against a man who loves the European Tour in Michael Smith, who perhaps wanted to put a few things right after his disappointments in the Premier League this year.
47.
Well, we know that Ratajski's going to go for a 15 here. Anything to leave double 16. Plenty of room to the right.
15.
He's going to have to rely on misses from Martin Schindler.
And I think the other thing about Ratajski that I do have to say as well that I really like is that he's in good form. He's got back-to-back last 16 appearances on the Pro Tour last weekend, 3 further last 16 appearances this year. And, you know, if he does come through this, and it is a toughie, I wouldn't be too surprised if he were to knit together another decent run in Europe, and he's had a couple of those before as well.
Got to get this double. That's the second time today I've seen somebody do that. Split the 16s, go outside the 8s, then hit the single 16. And now Schindler's left double 9 on purpose, but now he's going old school 6-6. And why not? As captain of Germany and another player from tonight, as Dragan and Horvat, as they look on and suck up some of this atmosphere. Well, I do have some news that's just coming through the PDC's Twitter page. It has, of course, been a development tour today where the first one was won by Jeffrey de Zwaan, where it was never really in doubt. He was flying all day. Well, the second one's a story as well, because Cadby is back in the winner's circle. He has won the second one, and the picture on the PDC's Twitter page tells a story. If you give that kid confidence, or if he gets confidence from somewhere, he's gunning for you. We haven't seen him on the Euro Tour yet, and boy, when he gets here, it's going to be super exciting.
By the way, just going back to what I said about whoever comes through this being able to knit together a decent run, thousands of people will be saying, well, hang on a minute, Michael van Gerwen's next, but as we saw in Hildesheim, Michael van Gerwen was beaten in the second round by Keegan Brown. Now, many again will say, well, it can't happen again, but stranger things have happened.
Well, it's pretty easy. If you want to beat Michael van Gerwen, just average 108 and don't miss a double.
81.
Job done.
The benchmark is there, the blueprint is there for success.
45.
Just a few slippery darts from Krzysztof Ratajski, and that's very un-Ratajski-like. to leave a 159 from that spot. And if Schindler can get a minimum of 105, going to go Bull now.
85.
Slip of his own, hands Ratajski 6 starts from 159. Very good.
Lovely setup, this.
It's not often he asks the referee what he's got left. I think he's just being ultra cautious.
Yeah, it was 42. Minus the 10 to leave double 16.
140.
Pressure.
This
is not a guarantee considering the misses in the last leg. But he's found his range.
Krzysztof Ratajski.
And Martin Schindler fiddled with his kit a little bit last season, and he settled on a barrel that was tapered at the end and had a little bit of a bend in the middle of it. Well, he's gone a bit more conventional this year. There's no thin wobbly point, there's no tapered dart, it's straight down the line. Got some new flights in there. It seems to me like after such a very good season last year, where he, like you said, Rob, he made the final of the World Youth, and he played in the Grand Slam and he played in the Worlds. Maybe because he was not happy with his World Championship performance, maybe he needed to make changes, and changes look like they're working.
Crowd absolutely loving that 180 from Shindy.
81.
Cracking atmosphere inside the Kulturhalle Zenith this evening. I went for a walk to the back of the auditorium just to see how far away it goes, and it does seem on TV it stretches way back into the horizon, and it is a long walk down there. And every credit to the fans at the back of the hall, because they're making more noise than anyone.
Yeah, I reckon it's a full pitching wedge to the end of the hall there.
Martin Unique 164.
Schindler himself's got 6 starts from a high number here.
84.
And that is a very good last start.
Yeah, many of these fans are in fine voice, by the way, because one or two of them, or more than one or two, have made their way for the evening session directly from the football. Bayern Munich were in action today against Werder Bremen, and what a great doubleheader that is for a Saturday afternoon.
You've got to have some stamina for that. Go to a Munich game and then come to the darts in the night time. That's hardcore.
I'm tired thinking about it. Tops for Shindy.
40.
Problems for Shindy.
83.
Well, he'd love a 51 with Krzysztof.
Well,
shouldn't gamble on the treble. Bull.
58.
Had a nice sound, but it wasn't central enough.
40.
And a kleiner Dartspieler needs the top of the board. Double 10. Listen to this if it goes in.
well, he needs it because Ratajski's ready to pounce on 25.
Krzysztof Unique 25.
Fear the worst for Martin. Ooh, unconventional.
Well, there's 7 left. So, yeah, 3, 4, double 2. Wouldn't recommend that one, but gets the job done.
That's just showing off, that is. We saw a little bit of an unconventional one from Bunting in the last game, so maybe that's the tail of the tape tonight, because we've had unconventional throwing from Nathan Derry, who put in one of the most astounding performances I've seen with 129 first 9 average and taking out the legend Steve Beaton by 6 legs to 1. Maybe it's just going to be one of those weird nights. Got plenty on the menu to tantalise your darting taste buds. Chris Dobie against Rastovitz will be next. Then it's Kim Hybrecht against Horvat, who was in the crowd watching this game, unbelievably.
I know, I thought he might have been upstairs practising. Or maybe he doesn't need to. Maybe he's feels he's done all he can.
140.
I mean, when you're playing, I mean, what's the break between quitting the practice board and match time? What's the gap in between? What's the ideal?
As little as possible.
60.
The worst part is when you're told to leave the practice room and you've got to make your way towards the stage. If there isn't a board directly backstage, it's that period of about 3 or 4 minutes where you're just aching to throw to make sure your arm stays really hot. of the reasons why they're given 9 practice starts up there. You've really got to make the most of them, in my opinion. But Ratajski maybe want at least a straight ton here. And that'll leave him a shot on tops with 3 in hand. Perfect second dart. And an ideal layup.
Yeah, he looks to be just gaining control of this. And again, Shindy is just looking a little bit rattled at times. He knows he has to find the responses because Ratajski just keeps on asking all the questions at the moment. And he's consolidated that break of throw to lead by 3 legs to 1.
Well, it's a hard enough draw when you're playing at the top of your game. But playing Ratajski when you're searching for form and not playing on the Euro Tour as often as you would like to, it's even more difficult. The tale of Schindler's season is this. He's not been playing brilliantly on the floor. He's made 1 last 16 since the World Championships, and he's been in 1, this is the 1, of the first 6 Euro Tours. Horvat looking very, very relaxed.
Well, all eyes on Horvat later in his match against Kim Huybrechts.
26.
Crowd taking some encouragement from that visit by Ratajski. That was our friend Sedlacek.
Yeah, very happy.
What a performance. I mean, it was a great performance in the main, I mean, to an extent, because he raced into that lead against Portela. Portela was allowed back into it, but then came through, just about had enough in hand.
I'll say one thing as well, Rob. It takes a really special atmosphere to drag the players back here once they've been through the mill with their game and their practice in the afternoon. That just goes to show how much people want to be part of this.
Yeah.
Munich is special.
100.
That looks like Duffman. Or Duffmen. See the nimble feet of the referee there. I think they're just checking a score.
Well, let's just tally that up with what we've got here. 217 on our scoreboard. Oh, it was just the fact that he scored 1-2-3 last time, not 1-2-2. That was the query.
Yeah, it's a difficult job the referee has. We've got Hugh here this weekend, who's got loads of experience. Of course, Kirk Bevins, who's refereeing this match, has got loads as well. But he's not only got to get the scores right on the microphone, but he's got to sheriff both chalkers as well.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult job, and you've got to sheriff 2 players.
There's loads going on. You've got to keep half an eye on whether a player steps up the oche. As Shindy steps into the double 20 then. You've got to keep half an ear on the crowd. You've got to watch what the players are doing when they move off the oche, when they move at the back of the stage. There is a lot going on.
And they've got to have eyes in the side of their head, really, because what they've got to do, there's no sort of second referee here, because at television tournaments they have a second referee at the back. But he's got to look at seeing whether people are over the line, outside of the exclusion zone. It's a very difficult job, and they deserve a lot of credit for what they do. It's a very vital finish from Martin Schindler, just to inflate that little bit of confidence that he's just trying to build up.
60.
He does, of course, have the World Cup to look forward to in Hamburg at the beginning of June, which is always very dramatic. I wonder if they're going to play Northern Ireland again, the Germans.
108.
The last 2 years they've had real tear-ups. And they'll be the same teams as well. It'll be Dolan and Gurney against Schindler and Hopp.
100.
So why not have a trilogy?
Well, Ratajski will be involved as well with Titus Koenig, I imagine. Double 16 for a 4-2 lead. And I've got to say, his finishing today has been, in the main, very strong indeed.
Well, we mentioned breaking news. I had some from Andy Scott, the Professional Dart Players Association representative here. He's confirmed that the Hungarian team for the World Cup will be Pal Shekeli and Janos Varksha, who has nailed on for that spot now, so well done to Janos.
140.
There's about 12 points between the averages here at the moment as well. Ratajski is bang on 96, and in fact Schindler's now bang on. In fact, he's just dipped under 84, so
140.
there we see. That's one concern. The front nine is very healthy for Ratajski as well. Well, certainly much healthier than Schindler's.
Yeah, like I said earlier in the match, he just seems a bit more battle-hardened, match sharper. Now, if Shindy were playing here, he would have been at the development tour. But
26.
this is where he wants to be. He wants to be playing in front of his home crowd. He wants to be performing, but he's in a very sticky situation here because Ratajski looks fresh. He looks really sharp to me.
100.
Shindy was a back-to-back winner on the development tour last year. Took the honours on a very productive weekend in June. He beat Vandenberg 5-0 in one of those finals as well. I mean, some of the averages you see on the development tour are frightening. But Shindy's average today is anything but.
133.
And there's, well, potential here for Ratajski to launch another counter-attack if he can post something healthy here.
Oh, good
93.
switch. There's Nathan Derry.
46.
Victorious tonight, and thumbs up from him. 619s. That was the effort to get a shot at double 16. Well, Ratajski will be looking for a shot at double 16 himself. He gets the bullseye.
First art, all important. That'll do. And he's looking at tops for 5-2. And that is very neat and tidy indeed. And that is 5 from 12, I think, now for Ratajski. And it's more than enough. He's in control and he's throwing first for the match.
We talked about Schindler and his predicament on the European Tour. He's only in this one of the first 6. Well, Ratajski has been involved in others, of course. He will be in Sindelfingen, but he will not be in Graz or in Saarbrücken next week.
125.
Now imagine if you're a professional dart player who relies on income from these tournaments and you're having a bit of a tough time. It's not a good 4 weeks for you, because 4 straight weeks with European tours.
Yeah.
And I have to use the example of Jelle Klaassen, who hasn't qualified for the first 6. That's half, well, almost half of the European Tour season gone. And it's the middle of April. It's so difficult to qualify for these things. If you're a seed, hang on to that seeding for as long as you can.
139.
Because it can disappear in the blink of an eye. There are many waiting in the wings.
Yeah, Max Hopp is under the pump at the minute. He could well be unseeded in the next couple of weeks.
100.
I think Ricky Evans will be seeded in the next couple of weeks as well. Like I say, this week's tournament is based on the Pro Tour Order of Merit from the middle of March. So there's a difference between the current Pro Tour Order of Merit and the seedings that these players have been given this weekend.
Another good switch from Ratajski. When he's unsuccessful on that 60, his use of that treble 18 has been very good. And he's set up a match-winning shot.
100.
And he's going to get minimum 1 dart to wrap it up.
Well, this is another eye-catching performance by Krzysztof Ratajski. He's looking at that double 16 once again, and it's a 68. Check out a 2-dart combination, a 14-dart leg, a 6-2 win, and Ratajski sees off yet another German player. They're dropping like flies here, and for Shindy, well, he has